What is up, guys? Triforce Caboose here. Hope everybody is doing well today. I am bringing you guys today the Series 3 AEW Unrivaled Darby Allin figure. I was lucky enough to actually snag this from a Walmart for retail price, and I'm very excited. Darby's somebody who actually really surprised me in AEW. You guys know I'm a huge fan of professional wrestling. I recently did a review on the AEW Full Scale Ring and exclusive Kenny Omega figure, which I will put a link to somewhere on this video. And yeah, I have a few Unrivaled figures, some of which are already open, some I'm keeping mock. But I really wanted to get Darby open. I figure since I've started reviewing figures on the channel here, we might as well crack this bad boy open and go over what Jazzwares did with him, because so far, just looking at him through our little window box here, I have high expectations for this figure. So yeah, let's get him out of that little packaging prison, get him off the stand and into the hand. So yeah, guys, we have got Darby out of the packaging and onto the stand, and my first impressions with this figure are absolutely phenomenal. I have had an issue with a few of the AEW figures with the hip joints, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. But just early on, my thoughts on this figure are very, very positive. Honestly, he might be my favorite AEW Unrivaled figure that I've looked at and held to date. But let's go a little bit more in depth. Let's go ahead and pop him back off the stand and take a quick look at his accessories. So for Darby's accessories, he comes with both his leather jacket with a ton of detail, which we'll get into in just a minute, and of course his skateboard. I don't really think you need too much, unless I guess you could call the silver chain on his neck because it is a separate piece, an accessory. I'm not, so here you go, his two accessories. But yeah, taking a look at it, let's go ahead and start with the skateboard here. I'm actually surprised. I didn't know if these wheels would turn, but they do. And then of course you have the Darby Allin painted logo on the bottom of the actual deck. There's actually plenty of scratching and wood grain. You have an actual little nick in the board. On top, you have grip tape. Grip tape. I thought this would be more like a tech deck and actually have some of the actual sandpapery grip tape finish. It does not. It is completely smooth. And also, there are no screws. From like here, you see where the screws would be on the trucks. There are no screws on top. So just little nitpicks there as far as it goes. But honestly, the texturing of it, see if you guys can hear my nail dragging across. It has a very wood grain texture. The grip tape has a nice little sculpt ridge here, and then it does roll. It rolls very nicely. It is not made of the same kind of material that a tech deck would be. It's much flimsier. It's definitely not going to be a problem for the figure, but it is significantly thinner and lighter than I thought it would be. And then moving on to his jacket, there are no soft goods. It is still a rubber, soft rubber jacket, but I do think Mattel could take notes from this, because there have been plenty of figures such as the Defining Moments, Bash at the Beach Sting, Elite Edge, I forget which Elite that was, but Mattel, you guys know what I'm talking about. They have these very thick one-piece jackets, and sometimes those are an absolute pain to get off. This jacket, it's very pliable. Even with it on Darby, the elbows bend and actually maintain articulation while having the rubber jacket on, which is wild because the Mattel jackets are so thick you're not getting any articulation through. Looking at it, I think the paint detail is really nice. And then you also have the gold accents for the zipper on both sides. I would like to see Darby Allin with a hood that would come up and down, but I mean, for rubber goods, that's pretty much as good as it's going to get. But yeah, I like the jacket. I like it a lot more than I thought I would, so that's a positive. Getting into Darby himself, I am very, very happy with this figure. I think they did a really good job capturing Darby's likeness. I didn't like it as much in the preview images. I thought it didn't quite look like him, but having it up close and in person, I think it does actually do a really good job of capturing his likeness, right on down to like the gap in the eyebrows here where he shaves the eyebrow gap, the paint going all the way down to the chest. Then you've got his nothing's over till you're underground tattoo on his chest, along with the relentless tattoo across the back of his neck. I believe this is an all new body mold for Darby Allin, and I think scaling wise, he feels just like he absolutely should. I do wish that the wrist tape was painted on the actual hinges. That is a pet peeve of mine. Whenever wrist tape is not painted on, they don't make the hinge white or black to match the wrist tape, so that is a pet peeve. But, you know, it's very minor. Everything feels great about the figure. Right on down, you know, you have his little shorts that are sculpted on over the leggings. And guys, let's talk about these boots, because these boots, from the tongue to on the back, all the little detail with the actual strings and everything, and then this slick, very vibrant yellow line that goes all the way around that just really ties the figure together. I think that is absolutely phenomenal. And then, of course, the little soft chain, like I said, nice sculpted hair, nice fade in the back. Yeah, I think it is phenomenal. Guys, please excuse the lighting. I'm going to have GCX plug this somewhere more in the middle of the video, because one thing that I forgot to mention about this that I actually really like is the actual ball joints for the hips. Jazzware has started painting them. On the original AEW first waves of Unrivaled figures, they were flesh tone, which can be really jarring whenever you have dark pants and then a flesh tone. So props to Jazzware for taking community feedback and starting to paint the actual hip joints, so now they don't look so bad. So yeah. The scale of the figure, you are looking at right at the 6-inch mark and the 15.5-centimeter mark. So that fits really well with Darby. Darby's not a tall guy in real life. He gets thrown around all over the place. So I think that's really well. We'll compare him to a couple other elite figures here in just a second. And let's get into the articulation. So he will look up that far, down incredibly far, which is excellent. Full 360, and then do we have any head? Nah, not really any pivot. Again, all AEW figures' necks will pop off. Not their necks, their heads will pop off their neck in case you do not want Darby with the chain, but I mean, he wrestles in it, so I don't see why you wouldn't. But you know, for your pick fed, for your shelf display, whatever you want, there's whatever you can do. Now, just for looking down with the diaphragm joint, not a ton, more backwards than forward, but now if you use the hip piece, he gets bent down, especially with the head. You can achieve any pose that you want with that. As all the AEW figures do, homeboy bends way back. Arms will go full 360 at the shoulder. They'll go out. My shoulder is loose, guys. Like compared to my right, or his right shoulder, it is significantly stiffer than his left shoulder. It's not a big deal. Like it still holds all of its articulation. That's something I thought I'd point out. Bicep rotation, his bicep's a little tight. Bicep rotation. All these beautiful double jointed elbows. You can have him making phone calls. You can have him getting ready to scratch his ear. 360 rotation at the wrist. Beautiful hinge. Also, I wanted to point out the detail with the painted fingernails. This hand has the free, while the right hand has the drug. So, you know, you have the drug-free tattoos on his knuckles with the gray nail polish. You get a little swivel at the bicep there. And just like all AEW figures, you get a little rotation at the waist. They are on that ball peg. So if you rotate them too much, pops right off. As for the leg, he will kick up that far, which is really good for an AEW figure. I think it's actually a lot better than some of the ones in Series 2 and especially in Series 1. He will do the splits, which is good for Darby Allin. You do get a full 360 on his thigh rotation. Double jointed knees, which is what you need for Darby Allin poses. He can't quite kick his butt, but it's not that big of a deal. Onto the ankle, you do get 360 boot rotation, unlike the Pac figure, and then he'll go down that far, up that far, and honest to God, just beautiful ankle pivot. I stand by, I think so far, and I haven't got my hands on any of Series 4 or all of Series 3. I think the only other Series 3 that I have is the Orange Cassidy figure. And I'm trying to decide, guys, there is a little nick in the paint, and I haven't seen a lot of the other Darby Allin, so I'm not sure if that nick on the cheek is supposed to be there. I don't know if that nick's supposed to be there. I know Darby kind of applies his makeup, you know, haphazardly. So I have to check, and I have GCX put in post like a yes or no on the screen if it's supposed to be there, or if that's just mine. And then the only other small nitpick I have is the black on the neck just kind of stops there, which it doesn't look bad at all if he's just, you know, down posing and things like that, and it kind of blends into it. When he looks up, sometimes it can just be a little jarring. It's not a big deal, but just something I'd let everybody know. But yeah, again, I stand by the fact that I think this is one of the best AEW figures. Just some overall thoughts on the figure before I get into some last minute closeouts and comparing him to other AEW Unrivaled figures. I really like the Darby Allin. I think that with every series that comes out, Jazzware gets better and better and better about how they're tooling the figures, about the sculpts, paint applications, things like that. Honestly, the sky is the limit with AEW figures, and I am very, very happy to own this Darby Allin. I'm going to be looking for another one to have actually on card, in packaging, and things like that. But just every AEW figure I buy, wave after wave, I still haven't got my hands on any of Series 4, so I really hope the Kenny Omega has some, you know, quality of life fixes over the ones that I have. But yeah, overall, Darby Allin, phenomenal. And here we have Darby next to the AEW Full Scale Ring exclusive Kenny Omega figure and the Unrivaled Series 2 Jon Moxley without his leather vest, denim vest, jacket, his top with the he's shirtless. Again, Jon Moxley is way too tall. Jazzwares, please address that in the future. Make Moxley more in scale with how he actually is. He looks humongous, even though I do love the head sculpt. And guys, say sayonara to the exclusive Kenny over here. This will be the last video he appears in, which is only his second appearance because I am not satisfied with this figure and I have sold it. So he will be leaving my premises tomorrow and shipped on up to New York. And yeah, may he find love with his new owner and their new collection. He has served me well under the pretense of he was here for a review, a cup of coffee, posed in the ring, and now he is gone. So say goodbye to him, but this is all about the man of the hour, Darby Allin, and I say Darby is absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, guys, there you have it. There is Darby posed very lovingly with the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, which maybe we will see someday in the near future, maybe the far-off future, maybe in the future at some point. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. But guys, more importantly, you know I don't rank figures on a scale of 1 to 10. I just try to pass the information over to you so you are educated if and when you decide to make a purchase. And I would 100% recommend the Darby Allin figure. It feels, out of all the AEW Unrivaled figures I've held, it feels the best. It's the most well engineered. It feels honestly the best in my hand to pose, which up until now I have an issue with some small things with Jazzware figures for AEW when it comes to posability. Darby has none of those. The immaculate detail from head to toe, boot to face paint looks absolutely magnificent. I love this figure. I think you would love this figure. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Go Figure. Today we will be, well, actually, if you're watching this, I've already done my intro. Today we're going to be looking at the AEW Unmatched Collection Series 1 Darby Allin. This video is being filmed significantly later than I filmed my first Unrivaled Collection Darby Allin review, but for one reason or another, we just haven't had a chance to get that first review out for Darby, and now the Unmatched Collection has come out, so I figure we could go ahead and take a look at Darby and just do a little comparison to the two figures and go ahead and do a little 2-for-1, a little dose for uno, if you know what I'm saying. I'll stop. Anyway, so this is the Unmatched Series 1 Darby Allin. I managed to pick this up retail, I managed to pick this up retail, and I really like this figure. I really like the choice that they went with for the attire. You do get the TNT Championship, which I like, another skateboard for Darby, and then I really like the body paint on this. And yeah, I just want to go ahead and take a quick look at him. I've had him for a little while, and I haven't had a chance to review him yet, so I'm really excited to get him undone. Oh God, cut that. I've had him for a little bit, and I'm really excited to get him out of the packaging and take a look at it. You will see just by comparison for the Unrivaled collection to the Unmatched collection, here you do have the blue and silver as opposed to the gold. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the packaging and then free him from his plastic prison. So here you do have Darby in the window box. It is basically the same exact packaging, so you're not going to be getting anything too crazy for that. You do have the shot of Darby here, the Unmatched collection here. He is number 2 from Series 1. You do get that picture down here as well, AEW logo. Like I said, you get the nice silver banding up here. I'm really excited to take a look at that TNT Championship. On the back side here, you do have a stylized photo of Darby in the middle of potentially a kickflip. I'm still not super well versed in my skateboard tricks. I have not been skating in a long time. Darby signature there, and then looks at everybody else in this here collection. Then on the bottom, all the legal stuff. Tops the window box as always. So yeah, let's go ahead and crack Darby out of this plastic prison and get him in the, not the hand yet, he's going to the stand first so we can look at him. So yeah, let's do it. I'm interested if you're going to be able to see any gappage on that body paint whenever we pull him back. Making a note of that now so I can either be really happy or really mad in a few minutes. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here we have Darby out of the packaging and just on the stand with his accessories, and I will say just early on impressions on this figure are really positive. I'm not quite sure yet how it stacks up to his very first AEW figure. I know I am excited. You can see on his left hand you do have the tattoo work, the Arby's, yes, the good old Arby's tattoo. But he does have the arm tattoo now that he did not have in his original figure. The skateboard looks really good. I am really excited to have the black variant of the TNT Championship in my collection, although there is an interesting thing with that figure that I'll talk about when I get to it, but it does look beautiful. And I do mean we do have the rubber coat, which doesn't offer a lot as far as like articulation and everything with the coat. Those arms will not really move. I haven't taken it off yet to get a good look at the figure, but just a little quick peek at, as he rolls around here, I'll show you a little quick peek here at the abdominal. It does look like the paint goes all the way up and down, so there's no paint gap, so that's a good thing. I'm very excited about that already. And yeah, let's go ahead and get this boy off of the stand and into the hand. first things first, I'm the realist. And second off, he does have the necklace accessory here, which he had on his original figure. And yeah, just looking at it through the jacket, the paint work is phenomenal, both on the body paint, the body paint here, which goes over onto the actual arm joint, the face paint, and then the actual additions of the details on the trunks, pants, tights, whatever you want to call it. It looks like it's denim shorts over tights. You do get a little bit of detail work here with the studs as well as the studding on the actual belt. It is the same mold that you do get in his original figure. It's just painted differently, which I think looks really nice. And then actually it's not quite the same. No, it is. Okay, yeah, it is the same mold. It is. It looks a lot different when there's studs painted for the belt and they're not, but it is the exact same mold. And yeah, this is the same jacket as before. This one doesn't have any of the detailing or anything. Darby does have red nail polish on as opposed to gray nail polish from his first one. And while the boots are the same and I do love the detail, you do actually get a logo here on this boot that was not on his original figure release. But other than that, they are the same mold. You do get the same treads and everything on the bottom. As far as likeness goes, go ahead and pull his other figure out here so we can compare the likenesses. I think that they both, I mean, don't get me wrong, they both look like Darby. There is definitely a likeness to Darby there. I think this one does a better job of capturing it. I know this one's more of a stylized grimace look, but I do like the face paint a lot better on this side. I know it's a lot more intricate. I don't know. I think I maybe just like the hair better on the original figure. I don't know that I don't know. Neither one of them are bad. It's just, it's different. And then this one obviously does have the body paint on the chest so you don't see the tattoo that says nothing's over till you're underground. I don't know if the other one has the relentless tattoo on the back. We'll take a look here in just a second. But yeah, other than that, let's go ahead. Just after looking at some paint work, I do think that all the paint work is great. Just from looking at it, I don't see anything like looks like it's painted incorrectly or any paint blemishes or anything. But yeah, we'll take his jacket off in a second. But outside of that, you do get the Face of TNT skateboard. It is the exact same mold as his previous board. You do have the tear in the grip tape, the skull here, Face of TNT. On the back, you actually do get the Darby Allin Relentless, and then just your little trucks and whatnot. That's not how you do a trick. You just yeah, roll on off. And then last but not least, you do get the black version of the TNT Championship, and this thing is great. I really do love it. The side plates are also, you have the AEW plate, everything here. It looks really good. What's interesting with this belt is when you flip it over and you see all the connectors, there's a weird circular connector here, and when you like stretch the belt out, you can see the plate lifts off of the rubber, and I'm not quite sure, I've never seen any of the belts do that. I checked the AEW World Championship, the tag titles, and the women's title, and none of them do that. So I don't have a red version of the TNT Championship to see if that does it as well. Someone in the comment will have to let me know if it has that. It's nothing like a deal breaker or anything like that. It's just interesting. I've never seen that. But as far as that, the paintwork and everything, this belt is phenomenal, and I do love having it in the collection. You guys will hear in the background as I stripping old Darby down over here. So yeah, like I said, the jacket is the same mold as it was prior. You do get the color for the zippers, which I like, but other than that, I mean, I just don't like thick rubber accessories. This thing is, I mean, it's thin enough that it's pliable, sure, but I mean, it is what you expect. It's very soft, it's easy to take off of him, but overall, I would rather have cloth accessories. I don't like the rubber accessories, so it's a no for me, dog. I'd also like to point out that with Darby here, one thing that I did notice that I do have an issue with paint-wise, if you look at Darby's pinky finger here, the pink is all over it. It looks more like he dipped his entire finger into a bit of pink paint as opposed to painting the nails. So that's a little weird. And one thing I don't know if I mentioned with the original release of Darby, but I will sure as sin mention it now. Flesh-colored pegs and taped hands. Don't like it. Fix it. These pegs need to be white. This one luckily doesn't have wrist tape, which I didn't realize till I took the jacket off, but no. And while other Darby is dead, we'll look at new Darby. And yeah, I mean, it's basically the same mold, just differently painted. You do have the Relentless tattoo. It is higher for some reason, so that's interesting. But other than that, they are pretty much the same figure. And then you do have all of the paint work here for the tattoo on Darby's arm of the little bones. Is this other arm? Okay, I was just comparing. This arm doesn't want to extend quite fully all the way, and I don't really know why. Does his other arm do that? Okay, maybe it's just me. This one does it a little bit, but not as bad. So that's interesting. He can't quite extend his arm completely down as much. There's like a small little, which is fine. It's not a big deal. Just something I noticed while fidgeting with it. So yeah, overall, looks good. Let's go into articulation. And you will see for Darby, he is going to come in just at the 6 inches mark, which is between 15 and 16 centimeters. And now for articulation, you can get him looking back really far, which is the beauty of the AEW joints. He will look down significantly far, full 360 on the head. Arm will go out that far, full 360, 360 at the bicep, double jointed elbows, 360 at the wrist, hinge that far up, that far down. Can get him going that far back with the ab crunch, or diaphragm, I should say, that far forward. Can get him looking a little bit side to side, but you guys know with AEW figures, I mean, this will go full 360, so do with that what you will. This probably could, but it wants to pop loose, so it is what it is. Can do the splits really good. Again, on ball joints, which are painted, which we love. We'll kick that far forward. 360 at the thigh. Double jointed knees. I mean, you can make him kick himself in the lower back, but that pull string for his boot's going to floss his butt cheeks before his foot hits his butt. 360 there. And then 360 here. We'll go all the way down and all the way up. All the joints on this feel really good. Nothing feels really loose. His left foot, his right foot is a smidge loose, which is something that I didn't have any problem. Well, actually, no. The left foot in the original Darby is a little loose, and the right foot's in this one. So I guess between them, I have tight-footed Darbys. Now, with AEW figures, you guys do know you can pop them off at the waist. So we're gonna go ahead and do a little swap by the power of magic. Voila. And I will say, while I do like this as an attire, this looks really busy to me. It's not bad by any means, but I do like this flippity floppity more than I like this hippity hoppity. All right, and by the power of that, let's go ahead and go back. Also, one thing that I did notice on the original Darby, I'm going to see if I can get it to pull up without my camera freaking out. You do have the drug-free tattoo on the original one, and I understand with this one, you do have it covered up with that, but there is nothing here. I actually don't know if Darby had lasered off this or what's going on. What's the situation with that? Because I understand if this one's covered up now, then you just have drug tattooed on your hand, and probably don't want that. It's okay, hug it out. Hug it out. It's okay. It's okay, you two. So guys, one thing I did want to warn you guys about is I just had this happen while putting the Darby back together. So one thing that you do with AEW figures is they easily pop off like so. But I had an issue with Darby where for some reason his butt cheeks and his codpiece blew apart. Now, I'm not too upset because it was a very clean pop and it'll be easy for me to put this back together. And I mean, it's one of those things, like if you look at it, like once you put it in there, it doesn't fall out or anything. And so it's not even that hard to work with, but it is something I've never seen anybody talk about that. And I've never had that happen with any of my other AEW figures, but you can see like it's not going anywhere and it's not like loose or anything. But I did just want to let you guys know that. So just be careful. Make sure you put a lot of pressure on this when you pop it. I mean, I've taken this Darby apart multiple times, and just now putting them back together is when he decided that he didn't like it. But do not worry. You're still a champ in my book, Darby. It's not like you have a cooler version of your figure that came out or anything like that. So yeah, guys, there you have it with the review for the AEW Unrivaled Series 2, I believe. I believe the Unrivaled was Series 2, and then the Unmatched Series 1 Darby Allin figures. I appreciate you guys bearing with me as we got this review and everything updated and spliced together for both of them and put out. I really do like the Darby mold. I think that the Unmatched figure is excellent. The only thing I would say I do not like is I don't like the hair. I like the shaved look better for Darby, but even while I do think that this has more of a likeness to him, I like the paint and everything with the Unmatched figure. So yeah, you know, I try my best not to do like a scale of 1 to 10 with figures or anything like that. I just like to help in any way that I can with your potential purchase making process. And like I said, I picked this up at retail, so around 20 bucks. it's absolutely worth it. It's a great Darby figure. I do like the additions with the tattoo and the updates that were done. The attire looks excellent. Just be careful when you pop off the waist piece, lest you blow his cod piece off. So, but yeah, that being said, guys, I thoroughly and genuinely enjoy both of these figures. Highly recommend. Darby's an excellent character on the AEW TV. I need to get the Sting figure to go ahead and go along with this, and then we'll do some poses with them together. But yeah, most importantly, if you don't take anything away from these reviews aside from the information regarding the figures, I want you to know no matter what is going on in life, you are a wonderful and excellent human being. I love you to the moon and back. And I hope no matter what is going on in life, no matter what kind of time you're having, no matter what circumstances are, I hope you remember that you are loved and you deserve to be happy. Don't let any negativity ever take you away from the place you want and deserve to be in life, my friends. Uncle Triforce loves you to the moon and back. And until we meet up on the tracks for our next crazy, wacky, and wild figure review, as always, the pleasure has been all mine. And until next time, this caboose is loose and leaving the station. Be safe and be good people, my friends.